Hi, my name is Yasu. Okay, that was weird. Um, so today, I wanna talk about what is the second most important things when I was going through my depression treatment. And I personally feel that this second important things really helped me, and really one of the reasons why I was really able to finish all of the depression treatment and to get better, which is sleep. So the second most important things when I was dealing with my depression treatment is to focus on the sleep. And more specifically, it means measure my sleep data. And it's not like before I go to bed, I just look at the clock and see, oh, it's 10:30 right now. And I'm going to the bed, and then when I wake up, it's like 5:30, so I sleep like, oh, 7 hours. It doesn't work like that. I used initially a smartwatch, Xiaomi one, and then change it to Aura Ring. And I've been using Aura Ring to track mainly my sleep data for more than 2 years and 6 months already. And before then, as I mentioned, I used Xiaomi's smartwatch to track my sleep as well. So combining everything, I've been tracking and measuring my sleep data and then my sleep closely more than I think nearly 3 years already. And then based on that data, and as well as how I got myself out of depression by completing my depression treatment with my psychiatrist, I personally feel that there is a high correlation between depression and then sleep. And more specifically, it means that the better my depression got, the better my sleep quality got. The better my sleep, the better my depression. When hold on. So when the depression was getting, my depression condition, medical condition is getting better and better, my sleep quality is also getting better and better. And it really indicates if I wanted to make sure how to navigate myself to get better in terms of depressions, I decided to just simply focus on the sleep mainly, and that's really how I got myself out of this mess. And it was a quite interesting journey. And this Aura Ring has all of my sleep data point when I was taking highest dose of antidepressant, which is Effexor that I was taking, as well as back then I was just suffering from a severe insomnia and very struggling to figure out which sleeping pill or pills could actually work on me. But after a couple months, I was able to figure it out, which is the highest dose of nitrazepam and hallucion worked okay enough to give me okay sleep, even though I was really taking the highest dose of Effexor. And then tapering off Effexor, tapering off the sleeping pills, different seasons, different conditions. It has all of the data. And then now I don't take Effexor. It's been that way more than 1 year and 3 months. And when it comes to sleeping pills, I officially stopped taking it since four months already, and it was quite interesting journey. So if anyone is not sure if you are getting better when you're treating your depression, because sometimes you feel okay, sometimes a moment you might feel so energetic and good, but most of the time you feel under the weather or like feeling down, feeling depressed, no motivation to do anything, and it becomes harder for you to know whether am I getting better compared to a year ago or 2 years ago? What am I? If you're not sure, looking at the sleep data really gives you a lot of informations and then gives you an objective data to kind of conforms with you that okay, I might not feel as good as I hope at this point of my treatment. However, when I look at the data a year ago, I sleep better now. Well, I sleep at least okay with less medications. But a year ago, I was taking more medications and more sleeping pills. So this is a improvement. And if you closely pay attention to everything based on the sleep and the sleep conditions, that's going to help you to get out of everything. Because once your depression gets better, most likely under your doctor's supervisions, you might consider slowly tapering off. It affects your conditions and it disturbs your sleeps. And usually, after a couple of weeks, it gets stabilized. And then you can just start slowly tapering off your meds. And then it becomes unstable, but it becomes stabilized again. And then just you keep going and gradually you start reducing those kind of medications. And then by the time you realize that you're okay, even you take nothing. And then that more you do, that more data you have, and then you can even see yourself that there's a pattern in you. So time to time, you might not feel good. And then makes you feel wonder that am I relapsing or am I making progress? I've been there, but if you look at all the data that you have accumulated in a year, 2 years, 3 years, it gives you directions. And then the important thing is just you need to use some kind of device, your Apple Watch or Aura Ring or Google Fitbit Air, anything that makes you feel comfortable to wear at night, and then just keeps measuring everything. At first, you feel confused, happy, and bad every time you look at the data when you wake up in the morning. Like, why did I not sleep? Or wow, I slept really well. And it fluctuates and you get confused because every day what you do is take the same amount of medications, and then when you're actually suffering from depressions, most likely your daily life is based on the routine. So you might feel confused that why my sleep so is unstable. I was very concerned and confused about my sleep as well, but I realized it's just how the body works. And once I accept that it just easily fluctuates, when I was just dealing with one of those nights that I couldn't really sleep well, but I could think, now I can think that it's just one of those nights that I couldn't really sleep well. Sooner or later, I can just go back to my regular sleep pattern, and if it's just gonna gives me a better sleep. So I don't panic anymore because I know my pattern and I know how to make sure to get through, which is just take Davigo to get enough sleep, and that's it. And then also, when I was going through the depression treatment, it was a lot easier for me to communicate with my doctor by using my sleep data, because it's a objective data point. It's not like me telling my doctor last 4 weeks how was my mood swing, how was my energy level, how are my thoughts. Those are very subjective feelings, and it's so much harder to compare my feelings right now to the feeling that I had a year ago, 2 years ago. So one of the difficulty that I was having when I was meeting with my doctor regularly, which is I should be getting better, but of course I felt down. My energy level was not that stabilized. But compared to the initial stage of depression treatment, which is I had no energy and I kept feeling so much down, I was really in a dark place. There's a point that I was feeling much better, however, still I was going through so much pain. So I just didn't know how to make sense or how to tell myself and my doctor that the pain that I was in right now back then, how can I tell is it better compared to 2 years ago or a year ago? Because there is no measurement in terms of my pain or feeling uncomfortable. So I decided that mainly I focus on my sleep to communicate with him that, okay, the last month on average, I was only able to sleep like 5 hours, but which is a lot better compared to the previous 4 weeks, which is because I was only able to sleep for 4 hours and 30 minutes. Or when I reduced my antidepressant, it disturbed me because I suffered from visual symptoms and it affected my sleep. So when I was meeting with my doctor, I was telling him that, oh, my sleep in the last 4 weeks was only 6 hours, and which is less compared to previous 4 weeks because I was able to sleep like 7 hours. But I think it's because I reduced effexor, and in the first 2 weeks or so, I was suffering from withdrawal symptoms, and it really affected my sleep. But I don't feel visual symptoms anymore. And then in the last 1 week or 2 weeks or 10 days or so, my sleep is actually getting better compared to the first 2 weeks after I reduced effexor. So I think I'm getting better. My brain and my body is adjusting to the lower dose of effexor. So I just need a little bit more time to be stabilized. So showing those data to him, as well as sharing how my mood swing was, also energy level, anything that happened, it really sets me in the right directions to communicate with my doctors, as well as how to move forward with the treatment, such as when to start reducing my antidepressant, when to stop reducing them, because my doctor felt that the pace was a bit faster. And even it really confirmed when to stop taking Effexor completely. And of course, once I stopped taking it, it just really, really hurt me. So on the follow-up appointment with my doctor, my sleep data was just so bad. It's really bad. But gradually it's getting better. And I was confident that it's gonna get better because it's just part of the cycle that I gone through. And I could see how I have gone through based on the data. But the hardest part is that even though I understand that's the cycle that I need to go through, but the pain and the uncomfortableness that I had to deal with is just so real. It's not avoidable, so I had to go through it, which is very painful. But also speaking with my doctor based on the data, objective data, I think it helps both of us to build a trusting relationship. For me to trust my psychiatrist was originated from how effective Effexor was on me as a first try on the med. But I think for my doctor, maybe he might felt that my approach is reasonable. I'm not sure. And maybe this is only me thinking, but I think one way or another, he was, for me to share as much information and for me to tell him that I want to move forward with my treatment based on mainly sleep data, probably gives him some ways that, oh, maybe I can, yes, can be responsible patient. I'm not sure, but I don't know. It's all in my head. So maybe he never trusts me, and it doesn't really matter. There's no such thing that doctors trust patients. I'm not sure. But for me to feel that he must be trusting me encouraged me to keep going. And I think that only matters. So I encourage and recommend people to start tracking their sleep by using health device, and mainly, not solely, but mainly focus on the sleep data to interact with health professionals to carefully decide how to carry the treatment plan. Because, like I said, it's so much hard. I don't even know how to compare when I felt down. When I feel down one of those days, let's say that, like, how much I'm depressed at the moment, right now, let's say right now, is it more depressed? Was I more depressed a year ago? But what about compared to 2 years ago? Was I more and more depressed? I'm not sure. I can say I probably was, but once I am in this stage, it's it's so hard to measure how much I was depressed a year ago or 2 years ago, or even how much I am depressed right now, or even how much I am okay right now. I don't know even. I don't even. It's not quantifiable. But tracking sleep data, it's a data based on your conditions. The more you accumulate, the longer you accumulate, the more precisely it can indicate your condition, which is very helpful for you to understand your conditions on your own and for you to communicate with people who want to help you. Yeah, that is why the second most important things when people want to know how to go through depression treatment and how to get better and get themselves out of that mess is to just focus on the sleep, measure sleep, and then take actions accordingly. It sounds easy, but it's very long journey to make sense, and it's not quick instant solutions to your condition. And it's not something that you're looking for. I know, because when I was suffering from everything, I want quick fix to everything. But unfortunately, there's nothing like that. At least I don't know any quick fix when it comes to depression treatment. So you need to take a long-term approach with comprehensive methods, but you need to focus on one as a foundation, and then the foundation should be, first, trust in your doctor. The second, focus on your sleep. Anyway, I'm hoping that you find this either helpful or maybe not helpful. But either way, it gives you more options. And I'm really hoping that you can finish your depression treatment officially and completely. Because I really don't want anyone to suffer from depression. It is one of those things that really destroys people's lives. No one should suffer from depression. No one should. Yeah. Well, thank you for watching. If somehow you find this one useful, please like the video and please subscribe to my channel. Please take care. For now, じゃあね。バイバイ。